Today's tutorial is springtime inspired makeup. As the weather warms up, you want to be wearing light products on your face. You don't want to be caked in makeup. For the purpose of the video I'm using something thicker, but you can just use a BB cream or your favourite foundation mixed with a little bit of moisturiser just to sheer it down and make it more light on the skin. As I always do, I like to add a little bit of contour. This just means to add a little bit of darker foundation just to the hollows of the cheeks and just down the sides of my nose and normally around the hairline. It just gives a little bit more warmth to the face. When wearing something lighter on your face, you might want to use a concealer to hide blemishes, anywhere you want a bit more coverage. So I always take a little bit under the eyes, sometimes a little bit around the nose, and then any little blemishes I might have on my actual face. I always like using the Bourjois Healthy Mix Concealer. You can use any of your favourite. Again, if it's a thick concealer, then you can always sheer it down. You can use a mixing medium, or you can just use a little bit of moisturiser. If you do use a moisturiser, make sure it's an oil-free one, and then just set it into place with a bit of powder. So for the brows, I'm going to keep it nice and natural. It may look a little bit less natural on camera, but it is relatively natural. And to do this, I'm going to use two colours. I'm using Anastasia Brow Wiz. This is, I think it's from their first packaging, so it looks a little bit different. I'm using Ash Blonde at the front of my brows, and then I'm using Brunette at the back of my brows. And the reason I do this is it just creates a bit more dimension to the eyebrow. When you fill the brow in, you want to create tiny little hair marks. So as you can see, I'm just doing tiny little brush strokes and then using the other side just to comb that through, and it softens it. I'm just lining up for where the end of my brow should be and just using the pencil to fill in and extend ever so slightly. Then once you finish with the first eyebrow, repeat the same on the second eyebrow. Now, I'm not adding too much eyeshadow to this look, so I'm going straight in with gel liner. I'm using a Bobbi Brown one, but I'm mixing it with a product that makes it waterproof. And obviously, as it's springtime and the weather starts to warm up, you want to use products that aren't going to melt in the heat or transfer onto the top of your lid like a lot of eyeliners do. So I'm not creating anything too extravagant, just lining the top lid and winging it out at the corners. Repeat the same step on the second eye. I'm going to take that gel liner underneath the top lashes, and this is called tight lining. So it's like doing the waterline but on the top side. For the lower waterline, we're going to be using a blue kohl pencil, and this one is by Sue Moxley, and I got this in Superdrug. We're going to put this on the waterline in layers, so we're going to do it twice, and then we're going to work it in between the lower lashes. So again, reapply now it's settled in, and this will make it more opaque and make it brighter. Right, now we're going to curl the lashes, and we're going to use a waterproof mascara. As I said before, as the spring and summer months come in, you kind of want to use a more waterproof base mascara, as this can shift on your face with the heat, etc. So to keep you looking fresh, you want to use waterproof. I like to start at the root and give it a wiggle and pull it up the lashes. Apply a second coat for added length, and then once that's dry, just apply some to your lower lashes. same as the top, just wiggle at the root and just pull it down the lashes. Careful not to blob it onto the blue eyeliner that you've applied. I'm applying some lashes that aren't too thick but do add some extra length. Always apply eyelashes if it's onto yourself or somebody else with their eyes open but looking downwards. This way you'll get it perfectly across the eyelid and it won't be creasing anywhere or pop up as you open your eyes. Also allow the glue to dry a little bit before you apply it to the lash, that way it will go tacky and adhere better. To warm up the face slightly, I'm using MAC's Harmony blush, and I'm just applying this just down the cheekbones and just around the circumference of the face. To get a nice even distribution of the blush, work in circular motions and then just backwards and forwards, and this way you'll disperse the product nicely. As this is a spring inspired makeup look, we're going to stick with nice bright colours, and this is a cream blush by Illamasqua and it is called Promise, and it's a nice baby pink sort of colour. This can be worn on the apples of the cheeks, or like me, you can wear it further back up towards the top of the cheekbones. If you only want a hint of colour, you can use your foundation brush just to soften it. Because it's cream, you can use that to blend it into the foundation you've already applied. The two lip colours I'm going to use are by Grimace, and it's 5.1 and 5.12, and it's an orangey shade mixed with a kind of reddy coral colour. Orange lips are bang on trend for the spring season at the moment. It's a colour we're seeing on the runways in lots of shows. So I decided I'd take that orange theme and mix it with a little bit of the corally red and come up with a nice sort of tangerine colour, but on here it's looking quite red. The reason I chose to use the blue eyeliner with the orangey based lip is because they're actually opposite each other on the colour wheel, which means they complement each other. So used together in this makeup look, both of the colours pop really well on the face. And of course during spring we see a lot of brightly coloured flowers and blue skies. Now, as I mentioned at the beginning of the tutorial, I wasn't going to use a lot of eyeshadow, but what I had in mind was just to define the socket and the outer edge ever so slightly. So what I'm doing here is just using a matte eyeshadow, and I'm just following the socket line up from the winged out eyeliner, and this just creates a little bit more of an almond shape to the eye. You can keep it more basic, you don't have to follow this step. But if you were going to wear this look to, say, a festival for instance, it would just add a little bit more glamour to the eyes. And lastly, I'm taking a blue eyeshadow by Sue Moxley, and it's like a frost blue. And on a pencil brush, I'm just running that under the lower lashes. It's just to enhance that blue we've put along the waterline by taking it down a little bit further. And that is the springtime inspired makeup look complete. I hope you've liked it. If you do, give me a thumbs up. And thanks for watching.